reasons to sit back and relax, but he also understood that excuses and results do not coexist.
Absolutely.
Right? It's either you've got one and then you don't have the other. But
Yeah.
these two things do not coexist.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to LYF-TOK, and today I'm going to be taking over once again. And for those that don't know me, my name is Hans Benson, and on this side we have Mr. Anes Hove. And today we're going to be reacting to a content or a Instagram post on Instagram story by a famous Tanzanian musician known as Platnumz. So a couple weeks ago, Platnumz posted this picture, and it says, starting a business with a capital of $999 is too much, but buying a new iPhone for $999 is not a problem. Further goes on saying buying healthy groceries is by $100 is too much. But going out for dinner and drinks on the same amount of money, $100, it's not a problem. Right? Watching 2 hours of Netflix, you will say one more episode. But choosing to learn a new skill around the same amount of time, you say you don't have time. Then it concludes by saying life is about choices. Stop blaming the lack of opportunities. What do you have to say about that? What do you think of it?
I think this is the sad reality of what is happening in our generation today. I think it's all a bit of priorities. It's all about priorities, and this is the sad reality of our generation right now, because there's some things that we prioritize over other things, and then we claim that we don't have time or money for other things. He gave an example here of starting a business that is going $999, right? But it's very easy for somebody to buy an iPhone that can even be going for the same price, but yet they complain for that they don't have money to start a business. This has happened so many times, and I remember recently I was having a conversation with somebody who is pretty close to me, and they were complaining about, we were having a certain discussion really about exercising, right? And how some people say they do not have time for exercising, yet some people do exercise, right? And I was saying, no, it's not that you do not have time for exercising. It's just that you do not prioritize exercising.
I agree,
because if you prioritize something, you will definitely give time to it. Right?
Absolutely.
It's same thing as reading. And I'll give this as a personal reference. I used to hate reading. I used to hate reading books because I used to say I just don't have time for it, right? But now I'm like an addict to reading, if I may say. I don't know if that is the proper word to use in this context, that I'm addicted to reading, right? I spend a lot of money on books and buy books and read books, right? And I've discovered that no, it wasn't that I did not have the time to read books. It's just that I wasn't prioritizing reading books. So it all boils down to the issue of prioritizing. Somebody can find it easy to save money to buy an iPhone, but they find it very difficult to save money
to start a business.
And some of the money that they use to buy an iPhone is actually more than the money required to buy to start a business. Right? So I think it all goes down to the issue of priorities. Like, what do you prioritize?
I actually agree, and I like the example that you gave of reading books, because I kind of had a similar problem. Right? And so there are people that know me that know that I hated reading. I hated reading. Like, I really hated it, and I said, but if you ever catch me reading a book, take me to a doctor. Something's wrong with me. I used to say this. I really said that. But here I am today. I actually started reading, and it's because, like, it got to a point that I realized that my main priority at this age right now is to grow spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Right? That's my priority. Right? And for me to grow mentally, I have to read books. Because I need to expand my wisdom. I need to expand my knowledge. So I had to take, because sometimes when it comes to priorities, some people would say, I don't want to prioritize this because I don't like it. Right? So for me, it was like, I don't like reading books, but it's something that's eventually going to help me grow. So I had to prioritize it. So it's something that whether I wanted to or not, I ended up prioritizing. So this would be a good take-home message for people that are watching.
Yeah.
That sometimes you end up prioritizing things that you don't like.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to be things that you like. They don't necessarily have to be things that are fun. But if your main priority in life will be to grow to a certain level, you need to make those sacrifices that will take you there. And those sacrifices would be including sacrificing certain things.
Yeah.
For example, we find people that really like to party.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? We find people that really like to party, but they keep saying that they want to become successful business owners. But you look at their lifestyles, their priorities are different things. What would you say to
I think it's more or less the what you were just mentioning, right? But just allow me before I head on to say what to answer your question. There's a very important point that you highlighted that many people rather do something they are very comfortable doing, something that is fun, and then they make that their priorities. Just like the post says, right? That somebody would rather watch Netflix, right, rather than doing something that can lead them to being productive, right?
Yeah.
And I think this generation has grown into a generation whereby we prioritize things that are fun and things that we are more comfortable with than things that that force us out of our comfort zone, right? For instance, reading books, exercising, and doing other necessary things that allow you to go where you want to go. They are very uncomfortable.
Of course.
Those things are very much going to be uncomfortable. Consider things like studying. I remember I was having an interview with Fadusha, right? And then he gave a good example that all of us can relate to. He said, studying is not interesting. Studying is not fun.
Yeah.
You could actually do things that are more interesting rather than studying. Yeah. But you study because you know what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And you have to study in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve. To get the degree that you want, you have to study.
Yeah.
But is studying interesting?
No,
it's not interesting. It's not, it's not interesting not sleeping, right? Yeah. Having sleepless nights studying for an examination, that is not interesting at all.
Yeah.
But you prioritize it because you know that you want to pass.
Exactly.
So it becomes the priority by default, whether you like it or not. Same applies. That there are some things in life that, when you really want to have a certain kind of lifestyle, there are some things that are not going to be fun, but you have to prioritize them. Disciplining yourself is not comfortable. Waking up early, sleeping up late, sleeping up to late hours.
Early.
That is not comfortable.
Yeah.
Going to, you're a football player.
Yeah.
You relate this so well. That there are some times, I was having a conversation with you yesterday, and I was really astonished by how early you used to wake up to travel a long distance for you to just go practice alone. That is discipline. I was really like, I said, this is mind blowing. The girl would wake up as early as 6 to travel to go to another district.
4 a.m. actually.
Exactly, 4 a.m. And then you go to another city to exercise alone, and there is nobody who's going to be clapping hands for you. There is no one who's cheering up for you. There is no one who will say, hey man, let's just go for one more lap. But you were forcing yourself to do that. That is uncomfortable. But you were prioritizing it because you know where you want to go.
Yeah.
So my point being, just because something is very difficult, just because something is very uncomfortable, does not mean that it does not have to be a priority. But we are prioritizing things that just buy us time, things that just waste time, but at the same time, of course, those things come with a lot of pleasure. But at the same time, it does not lead us to progressing in life. It does not lead us to achieving the result that you want. Consider this way. Watching Netflix is fun. I do watch Netflix. I don't want to like it, right?
I feel like
everyone does, but it's just like, how much time do you allocate to doing that? In ratio to to allocating the time to doing important things, right? So we do not want to speak as if it's wrong to party. We don't want to speak as if it's wrong to watch Netflix. We don't want to speak as if doing some
it's
things
wrong to go
right? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I think as long as you want to achieve monumental results, you have to be somebody who is going to balance the ratio very well. And obviously, one way or another, because for you to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life, you have to give up something.
Yeah.
So it could be giving up much time that you allocate to fun and distributing much of that time to doing things that are very much uncomfortable, but they gain you the mileage to going where you want to go. Right. So I think that's what I would say. Coming back to your question, what was your question?
Well, you pretty much answered the question indirectly.
Yeah.
The question was basically advice to people that are, because as I said, that you find people that really like to party, right? Which again, as you said, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But because we're young, right? We're young and we say that we want to have fun, we want to, do all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But then without knowing that as we're having fun, we are getting to a point where we're not really having fun and we're kind of destroying our future because we don't know our priorities. Yeah, so that's what I was asking. What would you have to say to these people that have that? But you ended up answering it indirectly.
Yeah.
Now, my other question is, we made it clear that sometimes our priorities are gonna put us in uncomfortable positions.
Definitely.
Right? They're gonna put us in difficult and really, really painful positions.
Yeah.
So a person that will be watching this will be like, okay, I want to take that step, right? I want to take that step. I want to put myself in this uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
But they would sort of be looking for advice.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
When I'm going through these uncomfortable moments, which are extremely not easy.
Yeah.
They're not easy at all.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them to keep moving forward? Of course, I personally feel like if it's something that you genuinely want, you truly look at this and you're like, yeah, I really want this.
Yeah.
That burning desire, that hunger, that the discipline, everything comes naturally. But at the same time, you do get to a point, no matter how committed, dedicated, how much passion you have to something, you do need that extra push. You do need those extra words to tell you that, listen, keep going. You do need that at some point. Every one of us does. So what would you tell a person that wants to take that step to move from a comfortable position and making a priority out of a very uncomfortable position?